When we die, it is exactly like waking up from a dream, but seeing this brand new reality that somehow is familiar. It kind of seems like our old reality, but it seems like our old reality completely transformed, and we see ourselves in a mirror as a Christ, because now we are seeing beyond the veil. We are seeing the Christ consciousness reflected to us as it is supposed to be. That is what happens when you die. So any of you that are afraid of dying, forget about it. It is a glorious experience. It's just like waking up from a dream, but waking it up in a brand new reality where you have just infinite possibilities of what you want to do next. So this process of going through this death experience and then being born into whatever reality we choose, we can now do this without dying. That is what this new evolution, this new ascension is. It's our ability to transform our DNA and to be reborn while we are still alive, instead of waiting until we die to do this and go through this transformation and then being reborn into this new body that is in a different dimensional reality. We can do this now by using these formulas. The window for this transition will spark open November 2016. Whatever dreams that we have placed in our new DNA will be the reality that appears before us. 2016, there will be many people who have their 5 DNA activated and are seeing a brand new reality on Earth. And not everybody is going to obtain their 5 DNA because they are refusing to transmute their old DNA. They're refusing to give up their old world beliefs. They're refusing to transmute it into the light and create a new reality in their DNA. This is what is going to cause the separation beginning in 2017. But those who have not transformed their DNA will be guided by those of us who have over the next 5-year period. So they will have another 5 years to activate their 5 DNA and catch up with those who have already done that. And those who have their 5 DNA activated will be living in the kingdom of heaven on earth from that time forth. And then the rest of the world will grow into that state where there is perfect peace and there's perfect multidimensional reality. 5 DNA means multidimensional reality. It's not like you have to, like a person with 8 DNA has more DNA than the 5 DNA or this DNA. Everybody has multidimensionality after they move into the 5 DNA. It's like the home of the DNA. It sparks the connection of all of the other DNA. It sparks the connection of your higher self into all of your higher selves, clear into the cosmos. So these different numbers of activating 48 DNA, 96 DNA, 168 DNA, what it means of each DNA, there's actually 12 DNA activated within that DNA, because the 12-coded consciousness, this angelic consciousness, has to be reconnected to each of the 12 strands of consciousness within our original 12 star system. We were originally this one star created by Sun Alcyon in Andromeda, and it blew up and blew into these pieces, and there were 12 pieces, and it's taken us millions of years to get these pieces put back together where we can become one consciousness again. So the 12 DNA just means putting back those 12 pieces of consciousness, our original coded, our 12 coded reality. We have this Christ code. 12th dimension means the Christ code. We were created from the Christ consciousness. We were a universal creation. And so there's 12. So if we have 5 DNA activated, we have 60 DNA really, because you're connected to the 12 on each string. And so if you go up to 8 DNA, that'd be 8 times 12, so you have 96. And then if you have the 12 DNA, that's 144 DNA. And then the 15, I think, is 160. So that's why why you say that you're activating 48 DNA or 96 DNA or 60 DNA. You're activating those DNA into the DNA into that level. But we're all activating all 144 DNA because we're connecting into our Christ consciousness. So the cocoon is the consciousness that is taken into the transformational factory of the 14th dimension, just like the cocoon that dissolves into a butterfly. This old idea of the old DNA is taken to the 14th dimensional transformational consciousness, and then the violet harp strings where the electrons are removed take this cocoon and turn it into a butterfly. Our body becomes this new fifth dimensional butterfly that has multi-dimensional reality. Our DNA turns into like this window of reality where we look through this window and we can see all these multi-dimensional possibilities before us. The cocoon becomes transparent, invisible, and transforms. Exactly the same process takes place in the transformation of the DNA, and all of the old programming of density of the body dissolves into a new consciousness, a Christ consciousness of a form that is being played into existence through the harp strings. The cosmic harp strings of the violet transform the invisible light into the blue hue. A new reality is born. The frequency-specific feeling takes place in consciousness to transpose the DNA to be strummed by the mind of God. The violet string becomes the conductor of the human plan. The caterpillar knows how to use the quality of light of the sun. The caterpillar goes to sleep. Hibernization is done through the autonomic neurons system that is connected to the midbrain section of the brain. The nervous system controls body functions of the heat and temperature of the blood pressure, controls appetite, and simple bioprocess of elimination. The caterpillar goes to sleep through a frequency-specific midbrain. Its autonomic system moves it into slow hibernization. We can do this by using the candle to teach us to move into the blue hue, the frequency-specific part of the mind. You do this by moving your entire consciousness inside of the candle, inside of the sun, or inside of the light. You do not just stare at it. You don't just trance out by staring at it so long you get bored. You're actually moving your body inside of the light, so you're inside of the full light spectrum. And this moves you into that slower rate because the cosmic bands are spinning slower because they're so much bigger than the little bands down here. So you're slowing down your heartbeat, you're slowing down your biological rhythm, and you're moving into that cosmic consciousness. So the heartbeat slows down, biology slows down in psychedelic sleep. Lucid dreaming is a state of hibernization when we move into cosmic sphere of consciousness. This happens when we use the candle technique to move into the full spectrum of light, which transforms the invisible into the visible. The caterpillar still has the memory of its DNA, telling it how to turn it into a butterfly. And humans had that program removed from their DNA. We must remember how to use the DNA programming that the caterpillar remembers. The caterpillar visualizes himself becoming a butterfly.